Welcome back. It's time now for Media Watch, and here with his papers and his laptop is James Creedon. Hello, James.
Hi, Chris.
We've been talking about it all evening. Let's continue. David Beckham, it seems, is bound for Paris Saint-Germain.
That's right. And just to show how much of a subject it has been that's dominated the press today, this morning when people got up, that's what they saw if they were looking at a paper. Le Parisien, L'Équipe, that's France's big sporting paper. Le voilà, here he is. David, kind of looks like he's giving the two fingers there to the French, but I don't think he actually is. They don't. It's V for victory for them. But anyway, so there you go. If we have a look online, people have been tweeting about it as well. Let's take a look at this particular tweet. Ouh là là, chaque fois que je change de chaîne à la télé, je vois Beckham. Every time I change TV channel, I see Beckham, and it's no different on France 24. He's here as well. He's all over the French television. And also, lots of journalists talking about it as well in France. You've got this particular journalist by the name of Nicolas Royer for the Europe 1 channel. He's saying that essentially, even Leonardo, who is the manager of Paris Saint-Germain, but if you go back as far as September, said, look, yes, this is about business. It is about money. It's not just about his footballing prowess, or, you know, there's no pretense really that it is. He's a brand, he's a pop star, not just a footballer. And they were the words of Leonardo back in September. And indeed, in 2003, when he moved to Real Madrid, in just 5 months, he brought in 8 million euros worth of jersey sales, of football jersey sales.
A lot of French politicians have been jumping on that particular bandwagon, saying he's not really worth 800,000 euros, whatever it's going to be. A month, and it's kind of all about business, really. They're quite upset about it.
That's it. And as I was saying earlier, a politician has to form an opinion, and they've all formed an opinion pretty quickly about this, and they're saying, look, it's about the money. You've got Manuel Valls, he's essentially spokesman for the Socialist Party. He says 800,000 euros a month. That's
at 36.
At 36, his salary is a lot of money, especially for a midfielder who is perhaps past his best. You've also got Eva Joly. She's the Green candidate for the presidential election next year. She's saying it's just business. It's not really football. And at 36 with a dodgy right knee, you know, let's call a spade a spade. That's essentially what she was saying. So yeah, that's pretty much across the board what people are, what the politicians are responding.
We're talking a little bit about football here. There is, of course, the showbiz angle as well.
Right. You had lots of different magazines reacting to this. Voici, which is well-known ladies mag here. They were talking about David Beckham's hairstyles back through the ages. They decided to resurrect photos from the 90s when it was all floppy and blah 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 blah. Photos that we're very familiar with, it must be said, in the English-speaking world, but it's almost as if the French are just waking up to what he looked like down through the ages now. Gala magazine were pointing out that Victoria Beckham might open a shop in Paris. She already has one in LA. She has one in London. Now she might have one in Paris. And they're saying, oh, you know, the French high society will appreciate the finely cut lines and the slim, you know, blah 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 blah. How wonderful her clothes are. Now, funnily enough, Elle magazine disagrees with that. They are saying that Paris might give Victoria the chic she always lacked. So a little bit of the kind of French, a little bit of the French snobbery coming through there.
How their language skills go. I remember he had a bit of trouble with the Spanish while he was at Real Madrid. And of course, a star couple, they need a big house as well.
That's it. They're talking in various publications as well about the fact that he's being showed, or there's a sort of a rivalry going on between the luxury estate agencies trying to outdo each other. Apparently he's being offered by one luxury estate agent a 1,500 square metre property in the 16th arrondissement, etc. Now, worth looking at what The Guardian has said about it too. Can he pass the Paris test? This is their Paris correspondent, Agnès Poirier. She said she didn't really expect it to generate as much discussion as it did in Paris, but she kept overhearing conversations about it on the metro, on Avenue Montaigne, everywhere. And she said, you know, it'll be interesting to see how well he settles in. One thing that she points out is that Beckham is well known perhaps for his image in France, for his footballing prowess, but no one has really heard him speak. So they might now discover that has kind of quite a high-pitched voice. So for the first time, unless he actually, he probably won't learn French, I would imagine, or not much of it. So he'll continue to be dubbed on French TV.
Cole's been learning a little bit at Lyon. There's no reason he can't.
Oh, really? I suppose, you know, we could make an effort. We'll see what happens.
Okay, James Creedon, thanks ever so much for joining us for that edition of Media Watch. Do stay tuned. Plenty more coming up here on Live from Paris. The news will be back in about 3 minutes' time. We'll be looking at a new government in Spain being announced by the newly invested Prime Minister there. One of the senior figures therein, a former banker at Lehman Brothers.